Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rudy McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. As the world reflects on 2 years since Russia's invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February in 2022, let us take a moment to share the experience of the pain and suffering behind the devastating war. As the conflict intensified, so did the human cost. Families were torn apart, homes reduced to rubble, and dreams shattered in an instant. Each day brought new heartache and loss, leaving scars that would never fully heal. Diplomatic efforts were made, but the cycle of violence has seemed endless. And yet, amidst the despair, a flicker of hope remains, a belief that one day peace will prevail.
As Ukraine enters its third year of conflict, the toll of war is undeniable. But amidst the sorrow, the indomitable spirit of its people shines through, a beacon of hope in the face of adversity. The silent graveyards are a poignant reminder of the war's toll. Yet amidst the hardship, acts of solidarity emerge. Volunteer networks provide crucial support to the military, demonstrating the resilience of communities in the face of adversity. For many mothers whose sons remain captive, uncertainty weighs heavily. Their story reflects the anguish felt by many across Ukraine, left to ponder the fate of their loved ones. Displacement adds another layer of hardship. Meanwhile, the Synod of Bishops of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church designated February 24, 2024, the second anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, as a day of prayer and fasting for Ukraine's victory and just peace. Major Archbishop Sviatoslav Shevchik, the head of the UGCC, urged believers and those of goodwill to join in prayerful solidarity on this day. Major Archbishop Shevchik appealed to the faithful of the Church globally to unite in this collective prayer, standing together before God to implore an end to the suffering in Ukraine. News Desk, SW News.
A recent report by the Family Research Council sheds light on a troubling trend, that being hostility against churches in the United States being on the rise. In 2023 alone, the report identified 436 incidents targeting churches, a stark increase from previous years. These incidents, which included vandalism, arson attempts, gun-related incidents, bomb threats and other forms of hostility, more than doubled from the previous year and were 8 times higher than those reported in 2018. The incidents were spread across 48 states and the District of Columbia, with California and Texas reporting the highest number of occurrences. Some incidents appear to be motivated by specific issues, such as abortion, or geopolitical conflicts like the Israel-Hamas war. In light of these findings, the report underscored the urgency of respecting religious freedom and addressing the growing hostility faced by churches across the United States. In the United States, the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage invited the faithful to participate upon announcing the schedule of events on Thursday. The organisers of the 2024 pilgrimage released an updated map highlighting the events corresponding to each city and diocese. The cross-country pilgrimage will walk through 27 states and 65 dioceses. 4 teams of perpetual pilgrims will lead the 6,500-mile-long walk that will begin with events at the launch point of each route. The Eucharistic pilgrimage will start on May the 18th to the 19th, commemorating the Feast of Pentecost. The journeys will then converge on the 10th National Eucharistic Congress in Indianapolis on the 16th of July. Organisers say the walk from all 4 directions of the country will stop at many holy sites and churches along the way. On Wednesday, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed House Bill 878, which allows public officials to refuse to solemnize marriages that come into conflict with their conscience and religious beliefs. The bill was first passed by the State House in March in 2023. Critics, including LGBTQ advocacy organisation Lambda Legal, called the bill unconstitutional, claiming it might supposedly discriminate against LGBTQ interracial and interfaith marriages. Meanwhile, Republican Monty Fritz supported the law, stating that it preserves officiants' religious liberty. However, Tennessee GOP State Senator Mark Pody noted that the measure focuses on officiants' rights, not marriage licenses. Armenian Catholic Gevorg Sujian and others were wrongfully imprisoned and tortured in Azerbaijan for 3 years after the Nagorno-Karabakh War. Sujian, the founding president of the New Armenia Homeland Diaspora charitable NGO, has sent an open letter to Pope Francis, pleading for assistance in obtaining his release. Although the war was suspended following an agreement mediated by Russia, Azerbaijan did not permit Armenian war prisoners to return to their homeland, which is a violation of international humanitarian law. The convicts were subjected to unfair trials and brutal treatment, including allegations of espionage based on fake charges. More than 100 years after the Armenian genocide, which occurred in 1915, Armenians have been facing Turkish and Azeri military assaults and forced displacements from 2020. Iraq's federal court has ruled that the region of Kurdistan's parliamentary minority quota seats are unconstitutional, stating the parliament has 100 members, thus invalidating the 11 minority seats. Lawsuits were filed by politicians from the Kurdistan Patriotic Union and a Christian party in Sulaimania against the Kurdistan region's election law, first passed in 1992 and revised in 2013. The federal court consolidated both lawsuits and declared certain provisions of the Kurdish election law, including Article 36, which established 11 minority seats within the 111-member legislature, as unconstitutional. Article 36 of the Regional Parliament Elections Law had allocated 5 seats to Chaldeans, Syriacs and Assyrians, 1 seat to Armenians and 5 seats to Turkmen, all of which were eliminated under the new amendment. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has filed a lawsuit against the Catholic group Annunciation House in El Paso, accusing it of facilitating illegal immigration and human smuggling. Paxton proceeded to withdraw the organization's non-profit registration, arguing that it aggravated illegal immigration. Annunciation House have denied the charges, claiming only to have given refuge to migrants for over 46 years. In early February, the Attorney General's office had ordered the organisation to produce records without allowing ample time, which sparked a legal spat over the due process rights. While accusing the American lawmaker of trying to silence Annunciation House, the group maintained that asking a judge to step in is not against the law. In a tragic incident of mine collapse in central Venezuela on Thursday, 23 miners were reportedly killed, and dozens others are feared trapped below tons of cloying mud in the illegally operated gold mine. Video footage shows a huge wall of earth gradually collapsing and falling on labourers who were working in shallow water channels. Bolivar State Governor Angel Marcano told local reporters that 14 bodies had been recovered so far. According to local authorities, 200 people were at work, with the death toll expected to increase. An investigation is underway, with members of the workers' families begging the authorities for the dispatchment of planes and helicopters for rescue operations. Ahead of the country's election process, the Mexican bishops have urged contemplative communities across the nation to start an uninterrupted time of prayer in order to seek God's guidance and assistance. The Conference of the Mexican Episcopate has urged members of the religious communities and all Christians to pray for Mexican citizens so that they may have the wisdom to elect leaders who sincerely seek the good. The bishops also wished that the electoral campaign be conducted in a respectful and constructive way among all social sectors. The electoral campaign runs from March the 1st to May the 29th, which will be followed by the general elections themselves on June the 2nd. In Afghanistan, the Taliban carried out a double public execution at a stadium on Thursday. In a statement, the Taliban Supreme Court ruled the 2 convicts were responsible for the stabbing killings of 2 victims in separate incidents. According to a spokesperson for the Ghazni police, thousands witnessed the relatives of the murder victims firing the fatal shots at the 2 convicts. The Supreme Court also said 3 lower courts and the Taliban Supreme Leader Hibatullah Akhundzada had ordered the executions for their alleged crimes. The United Nations expressed its strong opposition to the death penalty, however, saying that it was not consistent with the fundamental right to life. Lawmakers in the states of Kentucky, Iowa, West Virginia and Missouri are contemplating implementing legislation that would require public school students to watch an animated video depicting human life from the moment of fertilization, covering the various stages of growth. The video, created by pro-life group Live Action, is named the Baby Olivia Project, and it provides a medically accurate animated story detailing the baby's growth in the womb. The video could potentially feature in sex education classes in public schools. Opponents of the plans, however, charge that the video was designed to manipulate the emotions of viewers, whereas the founder of Live Action, Lila Rose, called the video informative and appropriate for anyone. Indian Cardinal Felipe Neri Antonio Ferrao has been elected as the next president of the Federation of Asian Bishops' Conference. The announcement was made on Thursday during the Central Committee meeting in Bangkok. Bishop Pablo Virgilio David from the Philippines has been chosen as vice president, and Archbishop Tarcisio Isao Kikuchi from Japan has been re-elected as Secretary General. All three will begin their terms of office in January 2025. Cardinal Ferrao currently serves as the president of the Conference of Catholic Bishops of India and was made a cardinal by Pope Francis on August the 27th in 2022. He will succeed the current conference president, Cardinal Charles Bo of Yangon in Myanmar. Established in 1970, the Continental Conference promotes cooperation among Catholic Episcopal conferences in Asia. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again next time for more. And do remember, in the meantime, you can always visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.